your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy Sports Today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I think the one comparison that I'd like to make that reminds me of Tiger is Scotty's ability to make shots on the Sunday look like shots on a Thursday. And Tiger was so good at doing that too. In the high pressure leverage moments, he didn't lose a step. You know, he was still able to hit it pin high. He's still knocking down flag sticks. He doesn't hit it.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the book.
I mean, here's the question. I know hockey players are pretty superstitious. Do they start to ask themselves the question of being like, we signed Corey Perry? We did what?
No.
We signed Corey Perry? Good news, boys. We're going to the Cup Finals. Bad news, boys. We're losing.
At some point, you got to win one for Corey, right?
I guess
Get
so.
on the team and like, wow, this guy, we gotta win one here.
The Bostonian versus the.
And welcome in. It's InGame Live, prime time on a fabulous football Friday, although there's no football. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe we'll do a little NFL preseason win totals if things get a little boring. But why would they get boring with yours truly and Dave Sharapan here for the next 120 minutes right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time, sitting in for Matt Perrault today on a Friday is yours truly. My pleasure doing that. Matt out doing his thing for July 4th, 5th, 6th weekend, no doubt. Major League Baseball Day. Got some great series this weekend, I must say, right? We got Red Sox Stanks. We got Mets and Pirates with Paul Skeens on the hill. We got Dodgers Brewers later on. Houston, Minnesota, just to name a few. So what's going on, my friend? How are you this Friday night?
Great to see you. You started everything. You started everything off with the fabulous football Friday. Not that football, not American football, but maybe football the way they say it and spell it F-U-T-B-O-L. No, you're not sold on that? There's a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people watching it. I wanted to ask you right off the bat,
is
it right to decide a game on penalty kicks? I mean, they play 120 minutes, okay? France advanced today on PKs over Portugal. They haven't scored a goal in regulation, and they're in the whole time. I don't know how that works, but it works, and it keeps going. But I don't know a better solution. Like, we've talked so many times about extra innings, and is that the right way to decide a baseball game? I don't know. Regular season hockey, they end up in a shootout after playing overtime, and I still don't know if I like the way the NFL settles it. I'm okay with the way the college football settles it, but soccer, penalty kicks, can you think of a better way to do it?
Of course. That's why everyone's got just come to me, Dave. Just come to me. That's all you need to do. S&W Corporation. We got it all figured down. I know the exact solution to this, right?
What is it?
Now,
what is it?
Old me would just say play until you drop. But all right, we can't do that realistically, right? Because otherwise you have games going on for like 2 years. So how about this? And I'm serious. You ready?
I am.
You sure?
I'm positive. I'm on the edge of my seat.
All right. I don't know how big a soccer net is, wide, right?
Yeah.
But we go to extended time, First 5 minutes, we push the goals out another 5 to 10 feet. No goal, we push the goals out another 5, 10 feet. No goal, we push the goals higher and wider. Yes, we make this thing as big as my neighbor's, well, I'll keep it clean, house, right? Make it so basically whoever, shoots towards that end is going to score unless he's, Lionel Messi just, hits the crossbar. So how about that? We just make the net bigger. That's all.
I had to put the listening glasses on for this because I'm not sure. You want expanding goals.
Yeah.
Like the actual physical goals. We're going to run a team out there and say, move the pole up, move the crossbar up, expand the post. What the? They're goals. They're not like you brought these in big five.
Everybody needs the goals in which the poles are inside the poles, and you just push them out further. Not that hard.
I think this is completely ridiculous. I'm okay with taking a guy off the field. Like, let's play 11 on 11, and after 15 minutes we go to 10 on 10. Like, there's going to be a goal with less guys on the field, I would think, because there's going to be more open room. So I don't know. That's one solution. I mean, listen, reach out to him at Opposite Picks, please. Tell him. I mean, that's a little bit crazy, but if you have a better way to do it, tweet at us. So if you're watching the show live, let SportsGrid know that you're enjoying the show. We appreciate it. Wetzel, right at the top, Houston and Minnesota. Really good matchup tonight in baseball. Can't wait to watch this one. Keep an eye on it. Houston plus money. I mean, you're going to give me Houston plus money? Nothing personal. Twins are a good baseball team. But hello, Houston plus money, the way they're playing, coming off a great June.
Yeah, got to take them. Right now, Minnesota's pretty good at home. Clearly, they got the pitching matchup, right, with Pablo Lopez on it. Although, in name only, right? I mean, he's 8-6, not too bad, but his ERA is close to 5. So it's not like he's been great. Although he has pitched better of late. I don't know much about this Sean Dubin kid for Houston, 1-1. But, Minnesota's pretty good at home. But listen, you know me, Dave, I like throwing out the pitchers and just, again, this is one of the good examples, honestly, of betting a series. Whereas I'm not going to necessarily just pick Houston tonight and have them lose, 3-2 and then jump off them. I like Houston in this series. If you're going to give me Houston as an underdog, which they probably will be, right, or at least pick them at worst, I'll take my crack that Houston wins 2 out of the 3, or goes 1-1, and then you just you bail after they go 1-1, or even if they go 1-0, thinking, all right, what's going to happen? You're not going to sweep, right? So take your money. But I do like Houston in the series. The way they're playing, Minnesota's a good team, good series, right? You got to kind of pick your spot. But I'll grab. This is where I side with the underdog. Give me the points, i.e. underdog odds in a dead even series to me.
There's a couple of these tonight, right? Like a couple divisional matchups between. There's one that's not. It's the Royals and the Rockies, but that game is tough because it looks so easy to just take Kansas City. The computer's even on Kansas City, 65% chance to win. Whew, that's really high for a young team, but the people love the Reagans. Against Conlon was a thing, has been a thing, and continue a thing, at least in the betting market. Any thoughts on that one? I was gonna after this go to the Philadelphia Atlanta because this is a preview of maybe an NLDS and a really good baseball game that screams under. But Kansas City, Colorado, anything?
This is, as you like to say, an athlete put, this is the FU line, right? I mean, you can't bet Colorado, right? Because Colorado stinks. But who wants to lay $1.85 with Kansas City on the road, even with Reagans on the hill? I mean, they're the better team. But I will tell you, they've lost his last 4 road starts. They've lost 4 of his last 5 starts overall. He's coming off his worst outing maybe of the season, 5 runs against Cleveland. So maybe he's going to get a little bit of a bounce back spot. So I do like them, but man, you want to lay $1.85 with Kansas City on the road?
Nope.
Can't do that, right? So
no, that's not comfortable at all. That's that. Yeah,
Wait, a run
I
and a
don't want
half?
to do that.
That Royals offense?
No,
right?
I don't think so. I think this is a wait and see. I actually think this might not be a bad play to hope Colorado gets a first run, and then we get a very fair price, right? Something like that. So, yeah, that's one of those ones that you kind of just, I don't know. Philly, Atlanta. Did you like anything before the game? I mean, this is screaming under to me. Screaming under 7.5. And right now, in-game total is 5.5. No score. Bottom of 3. Nobody out. I like the way that one's going.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's still 5.5. We've seen these lines drop a lot, after just 1 or 2 innings. We're in the bottom of the third, not that much, but still. You know me with the Atlanta Braves. Whatever I do, they don't. So you want to give me kind of Philadelphia, same thing, right? We had the Phillies against the Cubs. Now a little different scenario here, pitching wise, but you want to give me Philadelphia, even a wounded Philadelphia team? I'll take them. I'll take my chances.
All right. Well, you have to let the people know if you take the Braves, because that'll be probably a play.
Yeah, to go against.
Right? On the Phillies. Yeah, as soon as you do it, let us know.
Yeah.
But we'll have what? We have same game parlay tonight. We have Black Cloud. We have all the usual stuff all lined up, right?
Yeah, we'll get something going. Absolutely.
Right,
There's always something we can put a couple shekels on. So we'll check out Paul Skeen's strikeout totals as well.
Yes.
Coming up next.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time here on the grid. Just getting underway. Scott Wetzel in for Matt Peralta along with Dave Sharapan until 10 p.m. Eastern time. We've got a couple of WNBA games, but mostly baseball. Maybe, who knows, even touch on a little NFL. So an action-packed holiday weekend, Dave, including Paul Skeens and your Pittsburgh Pirates facing the red-hot New York Mets. that's where we left off, so we might as well pick up on that. I'm seeing another home run. No, that wasn't out. Okay, I thought I saw another home run for Pittsburgh. Your Buccos down 2-0, put 4 on the board against Luis Severino, who's pitched fairly well against this year for the Mets season on this 1-year contract. But for now, it is 4-2 Pittsburgh. And we got to check out our strikeout total with Skeens. That's the main thing because we got his over 150 strikeouts. So, but not bad. Pittsburgh, we're getting some strikeouts and we're getting a Pittsburgh win, which is a beautiful thing.
It is. And Severino was looking good. I was on with Ranieri and I jinxed him completely. I said, boy, Severino looks really good tonight so far. And then boom, Tellez hit a homer and an out. And then boom, Zawinski hit a home run. Reynolds came up. Knew a fastball was coming, put it out almost into the river in right field. Pirates lead 4-2. Skeens has 7 Ks through 6, so he's right on pace. This is good for everybody with the K prop tonight, which from the guys that I talked to, this is really fun. One, as a Pirate fan, it's really cool to watch Paul Skeens pitch. I love good pitching, and to have him in a Bucco uniform, this is really, really exciting. You can, know ahead of time when Skeens is pitching, but everybody's betting the over. Skeens' K prop, 9 starts, 7-2 to the over, and he's sitting on 7 right now. So there's going to be an eruption for another K in PNC Park, but everybody watching and everybody hanging out with us is going, please just start the 7th with a strikeout and then get him out of there or whatever. But I'm hoping to see he finishes the 7th. This is what we talked about with that season-long bet.
Right.
They're extending him out. It like early in the season, he was out after 5. If he'd have been leading 4-2 after 5, he'd have taken him out. But the situation with the Pirate bullpen and the fact that they're hanging around in the wild card race and things, they're going to throw him in the 6th. And then he has a short 6th, and they're going to throw him in the 7th. He just ran out to start the 7th inning.
Good.
I'm excited. This is good. Let's everyone that we get over 7 for that bet will get us closer to the 200 for the season.
Yep. It's amazing. He's like a model of consistency. He really is. His last was 6 starts, strikeouts, 9, 8, 7, 8, 8, 9. I mean, he's right there, right? So they can't, right? We brought this up before. They can't make it 8.5 because I think everyone would pound the under because he doesn't get really 9 except for every once in a while. He gets that kind of 7, 8. That they seem to settle in on 7.5 with him.
The only defense you have is to make it 7 and just leave it sit on 7. Right. I don't think you can make it 8. 7.5 is the right number. We'll be talking about all that in football season. 7 is the most key number in the NFL. It's crazy, but 7.5 is the most key number in Paul Skeens' K props. I mean, it just is because he's not going to get. I mean, he hasn't gotten a 10 yet, has he? I think he hasn't been in long enough to get a 10. So the ceiling is not higher. The bottom is, I mean, the minimum I think is what, 5? I got to go back and look through all his starts, but I think the minimum he got in the start was 5. So
he had 3. He had 11. It's weird. He opened up his career back-to-back outings against the Cubbies. So he had 7 the first time and then 11 the next time out.
Oh,
and then
in Chicago, that's 3. Right. I was there. Yeah.
Then he had 3 after that, and ever since then it's been 7, 8, or 9.
So
we get one more today. Won't get greedy. Won't ask for 9. Just get us the 8. 8 is, like you said, on pace for the 200, and we only need 150. So I'll take 8 in the win versus even 10 and the loss. We gotta have the Pirates, right?
Yeah,
keep them in.
That's perfect. All right, good.
So, and I tell you the other thing, they do win in his starts too, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 and 3 in his starts, and 2 of the losses was 3-1 and 2-1, which I don't think he suffered the loss of those games. If he did, the one he did because it was the 10 innings. So
yeah, he left with leading or tied in those losses. So he pitched and then turned it over to the bullpen, couldn't hold it. That's fine. It's okay. There's I believe Mashinsky's warming up in the bullpen. So this is probably his last inning. First guy up, grounded out. There's one out. We need another strikeout. Wetzel. Everybody that's watching needs another strikeout.
That's amazing.
I think
we're on the side of the public.
Well, it happens. Yeah. Listen, the public sometimes is right too. It's okay. It's all right. We got a guy, Lock Wagers, is watching the show, and he came up with a solution for the extra time in soccer. Yeah. Thank you for watching the show, Lock. Every 10 minutes, stop the extra time to let the players rest. Just play 10-minute increments. And then no score, stop. No score, stop. I mean, give them 2 minutes to get water or whatever. We're not running off the field or anything. It's not like the Zamboni has to clean the field. You like that at all or no? You
these guys don't run anyway. These guys don't run anyway. You know, I've asked soccer geeks, right? No, they don't run. Right? Here's the greatest. This is the greatest thing in the world to shut up the soccer geeks about these soccer players running, a gazillion amount of time. I said, in the 90 minutes that you play, oh, by the way, separated by halftime, okay. But in the 90 minutes, how much do you think you run? Oh, those guys got to run about 5 miles. Oh, yeah, they're up and down the field. They got to run a good 5 miles. 5 miles, huh? You sure now? Oh, yeah, it's got 5 miles. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I could crawl 5 miles in an hour and a half. You're running 5 miles in an hour and a half. You're not going anywhere. I can walk backwards on my heels for 5 miles in an hour and a half. No, they don't need any more breaks. Thank you, Aguilar there, or however, but need something else.
We'll be back.
Miles. What a joke.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching and betting on the world of sports. Little baseball talk, little soccer sport as well. Yeah, 5 miles in an hour and a half. That's crazy. So Miami Marlins down 2 runs. This is not great. Well, it is actually, you know what, putting American money on Miami is kind of crazy, but it is the White Sox, Dave. So they're down 2-zip plus 240. We're playing top of the 5th inning. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Every once in a while, you got to recount this stuff out, right? Because you think it's 10, it's not, it's 9. Everything's based on 10 except baseball. So I got 5 at-bats for the Marlins. You want to get the plus 240 against the awful White Sox bullpen that'll no doubt come into play somewhere along the line?
Oh, man. Do I have to? I guess it's one of those ones where I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, it sounds not like a bad idea, but like, really? This is one I almost don't want to get involved in. I'm looking at it and I'm going, he's making a decent case. I mean, it's only the 5th inning. It's probably the right side. Maybe plus 1.5 plus money. We'll take a 1.5 and take the plus money. I don't know. The White Sox bullpen has been so bad, like historically bad. On pace, they're challenging. You know, we talk about it during the week when we do the shows too. They're challenging the Tigers for the worst record in a season, and it's because of their bullpen. They've had leads going to the 5th and the 6th and stuff. So now's the time to take the Marlins if you're going to do it, but. No, I can't even focus right now. I'm thinking of you and the Hokas running, like like you know. I know you're doing the official stuff, but like you talked about being able to get a rebound in an NBA game, completely absurd idea. And you're talking about not running all that time in a soccer game. Did you ever play soccer in your athletic career?
No, I don't even think in gym class. Maybe in gym class. Other than that, yeah, I can barely spell soccer. So, but
really,
you know, well, it's soccer. It is boring. It really is boring. It's like I tried watching a couple of games this week because the baseball's been down with Monday and everything. Right. You know, even the most ardent soccer fan can't ask this or answer this question with a straight face anyway. And that is, I'll go from 0 to 90. I think it's goofy, but okay, you know, that's history rather than going from 90 down to 0 clockwise. But okay, right. You know, there's certain things I don't like, but just all right. But why they can't stop the clock when someone is hurt, so we don't have this arbitrary extra 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever the official just decides he's going to say. Well, we didn't play for 5 minutes. Sure. Just stop the clock. That's all. No. It doesn't, you know, it's a little button. This is 2024. You hit the button and the clock stops. There you go. When you're ready to resume play, you hit the button again and the clock stops and the clock resumes.
Yeah, but see, that would take away the mystery. Well, that would take away the mystery of injury. You know, like it's just like if you kept open scoring during boxing, you know, or UFC, you could actually push a button. Who won that round? They did. Boom. You could do it. I don't know. I mean, soccer has
transparency.
The VAR for the offsides. Like it varies. Like in hockey, there's a blue line. This is where you determine where you're offsides or onsides. In soccer, there's that vagueness. It's all vague. I think they like that. It works. You know what else they like? Skeens exits 7 innings, 8 Ks, Wetzel. And now the Buckers have got runners on base. So he got his K prop over. We're good to go there.
Wow.
And the Pirates are starting to get to the next bullpen. A couple guys on base. So maybe they'll get Paul out of there with a big lead. This will be good. I like the way things are going. This is starting off to really be a good night. This is good.
You know, when the guy gets a strikeout in his last out, you know, to go over your number, then you know that's like, you know what? There you go. That's where you need lady luck on your side, right? I mean, the guy could have just as easily flew out, grounded out, whatever the case may be. Ended up at 7, great outing, one way or the other, right? You just need kind of lady luck to be on your side. So nice. He's got 8. So he finishes with 8, and that means he now has, let me go to my schemes. What's it, 78. 78, 88? What do we start with today? 70? 70. So he's got 78.
Okay. Oh, and
so we're down to 72 more.
Hello.
Yeah.
That's good. Right on pace.
That's good.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We're good. We're ahead of pace a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Cha-ching, cha-ching. We're looking good with that one. All right, let's see if we can build a nice fat underdog parlay when we come back in Game Live Prime Time.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to In-Game Live, Prime Time here on the grid on a fabulous Friday. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan for another hour and a half or so. Tony Finn joining us in a little while. We get some baseball stuff from him. In the meantime, it is Dave and I trying to give you a bunch of baseball winners. So trying to look for a little parlay here, Dave. We got bills to kind of pay up from the July 4th weekend. Hopefully your July 4th went well yesterday. So
Yeah.
how about that didn't sound too promising. Was it good?
No,
Bad,
it's
or?
just no. I mean, it's starting to jump the shark a little bit. And for those of you that don't know what that expression means, just go Google it. I don't know. Like everybody wants to do the fireworks instead of just going somewhere and watching the fireworks. I watched a palm tree catch on fire yesterday. We went to a neighborhood party, and they get too crazy. So. Yeah, it was fun. And then the poor dogs, like everybody says, like it's July 4th, not July 4th week. It's one day. It's supposed to be one day. It's enough. They've been lighting fireworks off for 2 days, 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and tonight's the 5th, and it's a Friday night, so I can guarantee if I could bet it, yes. Will there be fireworks going off all over town tonight? Yes. But I digress. I didn't mean to jump all over you there, but how was your 4th of July? Was your cooking successful?
I was at the barbecue, doing the barbecue at my sister's house in Jersey. I live on Long Island, so she had the July 4th this weekend. So it was actually nice. I was shocked. I was telling the guys before the show, no traffic. No, I was unbelievable. We left the house around, about 10:15 in the morning. Usually it takes about 2 to 2.5 hours, with moderate traffic, right? You always get something over the Cross Bronx. And I'll tell you, we zipped through. There was about half a mile of traffic on the Cross Island, a little bit over the Cross Bronx, and that was it. And then coming home, now we left early. We left around 8 o'clock or so. Nobody was on the roads. It was amazing. It was great.
That's
so
awesome.
we got home in like an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Woo!
So, yeah, flew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So it wasn't bad.
What'd you cook
Wasn't
up
bad.
here with this parlay? Did you come up with something?
Yeah, we got to figure. We got a lot of good underdogs here tonight. Decent little spots. Let's put it that way. I got the Cardinals down 5-0 at one point. Now 5-3, although it's just got locked. But they're plus 4 and change. We got Cincinnati at home down 3-0 against, or 2-0 rather, against the Detroit Tigers. We're getting plus 210, only bottom of the fourth inning, so we get the whole game. We got the Guardians at home against San Francisco, right? Awful, not bad, just awful road team. But they are leading 3-0, so we get the Guardians plus 320. And then we got the Twinkies with Pablo Lopez on the hill against Houston. If you want to, they're plus 260. You and I both like Houston, figuring we grab the odds, but now that it's plus 260. So there's 4 dogs. St. Louis 290, Cincy plus 196. Guards plus 320, and Minnesota plus 260. Put them in a nice little round robin 2-team parlay, and if they all hit, it pays 173 to 1. I don't know about that, but if we get 2 hit, we'll win money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Vinny's close by, you got to let the people know, like, no go horn tonight. Okay, so I'll do it. There you go. Reynolds, grand slam. Pirates up.
Wow.
8-2. And you will be raising a Jolly Roger here in a little while. Pirates looking good. This is really good. Took Severino out, put a lefty in the pitch, and bye-bye. Reynolds is having a night. If you had his props over bases, over ribbies, hit a home run, hit 2+ homers, all of them cash, Wetzel. One of those nights. Love when that happens.
6 RBIs. Wow.
Yeah.
Just good thing it's the bottom of the 7th, and this way it doesn't get up for another at bat to hit 3 home runs in the game, which we don't want. We don't need 3 home runs.
We don't want that, right? We have a season-long bet.
We got enough. Yeah, we got enough. 8-2 is fine. We season-long bet on the number of players hitting 3 home runs under 11.5. So we don't want
under 11.
Under. Rare under.
Yeah, we don't need that. So. That's good. We'll take that. Did you know what the giveaway was tonight at Yankee Stadium? By the way, the Red Sox playing the Yankees. They had a big giveaway night tonight. Do you know what it is?
No.
George Costanza bobblehead night. George Costanza bobblehead.
Oh,
yes.
I did read that. When the dopey Yankees would give a bobblehead to some guy that's like not on the team. All the great players and managers and executives and everything else they've had, and they're going to use George Costanza. I told you the story. They stole my bit, right?
No, what?
I never told you that?
No.
Opposite picks. Remember, were you a Seinfeld watcher?
Yes.
Remember the episode they had opposites?
Yes, I
with
do.
George Costanza? Guess where they got that from?
They got this from the opposite picks?
Absolutely. We had a guy, one of Elaine's boyfriends, not the main one, the New Jersey Devil fan, but another one. I think the one that stared, maybe he got real close to people when he talked.
Yeah.
I think that's
the close talker, right?
Right. So he used to listen to my radio show when I was working at Sporting News. So he used to call in and we would go back and forth, right? So I swear. So the next year we see this episode on Seinfeld about going opposite. The whole routine. I'm going to name my kid opposite, and whatever I order at the diner, I'm going to go opposite, and whatever I say, right? I'm watching this, and I'm saying, this guy got this from me. There's no doubt in my mind. This guy went back to Seinfeld and said, you know what, that'd be a pretty funny episode, doing opposite. I swear, I have no proof of that, but he did listen to the show. He called in from time to time, which was cool. So I just thought that was a little too coincidental.
You don't get any royalty checks or anything from that?
I was thinking of that. Yeah, no. No. Now, if it would have been based on sports gambling, then yes, I would have called them up and said, but no, unfortunately not.
No, we're going to have to see if we can find out the actual truth about that, because we could go back and just get a percentage of the residuals. That'll help fund the S&W Corporation stuff,
That's
Are we still alive with our Wimbledon plays?
Yes.
Is all our people,
We are.
everybody's advanced
All
up to this
6.
point? All right.
Yep.
That's good.
Sinner on the men's side. Sinner's alive. Joker is alive. Zverev is alive. It's Joker and Zverev play tomorrow or like 5 o'clock. Yeah, tomorrow morning, early in the morning.
Okay.
And then on the women's side, we got Swiatek, Coco Gauff, who won today, and Ons Jabeur. And I think Swiatek won today as well. So I think it's just Jabeur that plays tomorrow morning. So, 6-0. So far, so good, all heading into the 4th round. This is where it gets a little tougher, but you got to survive those early rounds too. So, looking pretty good.
Are we the odds on
between the
favorite?
Skeen strikeout and the Wimbledon 3-teamer, we're looking good.
We have our Wimbledon odds right there. So we got. Do we have the 1, 2, and 3 guys? Oh no, we have the 1, 3, and 4.
Right.
We have to beat the Alcaraz. Okay, and then in the women we have 1, 2, and 5 right there.
Right.
Swiatek, Gauff, and Jabeur. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Excellent. Perfect. All right.
And I'll tell you, we almost got we almost got super, super lucky today, because apparently Alvarez needed 5 sets to win his match. Yeah. If he would have lost, he won the 5th set 6-2, so that wasn't. But still, if we would have lost him, we would really be sitting on the men's side. Really,
look at that. A couple tennis guys. I like this. This is a nice Friday night. Just mixing a little tennis. Good work with the graphics, boys. Keep spinning those things. That's good. I like it.
Got to get a little, bong bong, sound effects with that. Whenever we do the tennis, like the old Pong. What was that called? The old Pong game. Yeah.
I was thinking something else.
Yeah.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
back in game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for another hour, 15, 20 minutes or so. Looking at some baseball stuff, little WNBA we might get to before everything is said and done. We've got a number of games underway, including Yanks and Red Sox. Got a few games that have yet to start, so let's talk a little baseball. Let's get some winners from Tony Finn. You hear him all the time here on the grid from WagerTalk.com. Tony, Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. How are you today, Tony?
Great night, great day, great night. It's nice and balmy here in the desert, about 112, 113. Stay in the shade. Everything's good, right? Dave will know something about that. Quite certain.
Yeah, this is incredible. So I only get to talk to Tony on here.
Yeah.
We live about 3 miles, maybe 3.5 miles apart. I've never seen him other than a couple times in a book, but in person. Tone, it's hot. I'm not going to lie. I've been here 21 years. You've been here a long time, too. Like, I was telling the guys during the break, it's getting down to like 92 is the low tonight. I don't remember being this hot this early here. I mean, the 4th of July is usually the start of the ramp. This is early, is it not?
Yes, it is. Well, last year we didn't reach 100 until the end of July. So for those who don't leave the house or at least go very far from home, like me, if I go farther than a mile from home, the guys who have they have the area here, at least the Vegas, the Metro Police, they pull me over and say, hey, you're a little bit far from home, Tony. Where are you going? So you're right. I like 95 and 10% humidity in the shade at night next to the pool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
I can only imagine what your guys' electric bills are in the summertime. Holy fudge.
Not good.
I can only imagine. So, all right, Tony, we have a bunch of games going on. Any thoughts before we get to the games that haven't started? And just know, Tony's been in the business a long, long, long time. He's one of the true veterans of the sports handicapping world. So I remember, reading his name in all the sports gambling books, many moons ago. So that's pretty cool to have him on tonight. So, Tony, any thoughts on some of the games? The Yanks are just taking a 1-0 lead over by Red Sox. I see that bottom 4, but any of these games in progress jump off the page for you?
Well, it's fun. I'm glad you asked. There was a couple, and I passed on everything early, and I was focused on a couple of the late games. One was a series play, and one was both a run line and an alternate run line, which I played because I thought the price was fair, which is unusual, being the fact that it's Orioles, at Athletics or in the Coliseum. So I played a -1.5, -2.5 alternate on the Orioles, and my concern with the Orioles is not how much talent they have; it's the experience that they lack and the pathetic situational baseball that baseball is. Period. In this day and age, but especially how they play. They're a young version, I think, of the Dodgers. I'm not saying they have as much talent, but I'm saying that that's the kind of team they are, where they swing hard, they don't care about moving runners, and as a gamer, as an investor, as a guy who takes positions in games based on certain situations, it's hard. I love baseball, guys, I really do, but I don't have the what's the word for it? I don't have some of the cojones that some guys have to dive right in. I really think a lot about it, before I do such. But as far as the in-action games right now, I have really had such a little opinion. It was so easy for me to pass. But I'll say that I like the Cubs this afternoon, and that game's long gone. It's over. It's final. Yep. And I probably would have been playing against some of the absent pieces of the Phillies and backing the Braves tonight at home at Truist.
Yeah. You want to talk about trying hard to figure things out in two teams that are not helping on either case. Toronto at Seattle tonight. Toronto, just more and more questions every day. And then Seattle, who looks like they have one of the best starting staffs in baseball, can't hit a ball out of the infield. And they're a complete mess. So when I looked at this one, Tone, I said, this screams under. And that's the only thing I could do as far as a play in a game. Do you have a side or a total in that one?
I would have been on Seattle. Everything you've just said is spot on. I mean, spot on. The Blue Jays kick off a road trip to Seattle against a Mariners team that's offensively challenged. They can't bunch hits. And when they do, it's because I'm playing against them. And you got Kevin Gausman against Luis Garcias, and his splits Castillo's splits from his dichotomy of home and away are ridiculous, guys. You know that. I don't have to tell you that he's so much better at T-Mobile than he is on the road, and that matters. And an underplay here in this game, despite the fact that the umpire is a neutral, maybe hitter friendly, I would have been with you on this day. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. How about Dodgers Brewers? Huge pitching matchup, obviously, for LA. Check there with Glasnow versus Savali. You want to lay the wood, lay a 1.5, or maybe even take a flyer on the first place Milwaukee?
Well, I looked at this and I examined this, and I probably would have dove in a nice game. And what I did instead was I really think the one thing is the umpires and the crew in this weekend series, are all hitter friendly. And so it was not hard for me to just take the series price. I got a minus 200, and I'm seeing 220s and higher right now. So I took the Dodgers in the series rather than just pick a game because of what you had late tonight too, as well with the ex Tampa Bay Rays right-hander who is really, listen, guys, if you're so confident in him on gloves, then you're a much different guy than me. He can be really hot and cold at times, and he has been so far this season, but I sure like him tonight in this spot.
Tony, I see that Padres jersey behind you, and
yes.
Looked at this game and went, wait a second, how are the Padres the dog now? I mean, the steam came on the Diamondbacks. I don't get it. Doesn't mean it's not right, but I looked at it and said, geez, if I was in the book, I'd be happy with the people betting and moving the number back to Arizona being the favorite. I like the Padres just looking at it blind, and probably it screams over. When you look at these guys' numbers, this has to go over. But, I mean, what do you think? Anything side total there?
Slade and Randy are not going to be oohing and on the crowd because they're throwing 3-digit fastballs up there. I agree with you 100%. I like the home team here.
Yeah. Padres been an over machine, 8-0 over their last 8 home games, and also 9-1 their last 10 games at home. So we're a streaky team, that is for sure. Tony, great job as always. Check him out, wagertalk.com. Look for Tony Finn. Hit his icon. Go get yourself some winners. Thanks, Tony.
Good luck tonight, Nick.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Got to do a show.
Hi, welcome back to InGame Live, primetime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. Thanks again, Tony Finn. Check him out on wagertalk.com. Look for his icon and hit that and go get yourself some winners. So hopefully we got some winners in store for us for the next hour or so. Got Pittsburgh up 8-2, Dave. That looks a little bit over, bottom of the eighth inning.
Yes, sir.
Nationals still 5-3 over the Cardinals. I see the Stankies out to a 3-0 lead over the Red Sox. Yeah, kind of thinking that. Tigers 4-zip over the Reds. They're really a lot of no-nothing games today. How about the Braves down 3-2 against the Phillies? I'm about the Braves getting them plus 144. Anything before we get to the games that haven't started yet? Anything? Twinkies cut up to 3-2 against Houston. Anything jump off the page here for you?
I'll be watching as soon as the Pirates close out the Mets. And again, nothing personal, but Pirates are going to close out the Mets. I'll be going to the Phillies and the Braves game to watch that, learn, see, set it up for the weekend. And I'll be flipping between that and the Astros and the Twins because, we're out scouting around different prices on futures and different things. I really like the way the Astros have been playing. So I like them before the game. Got to make sure they hold on. But the Twins can definitely tie this thing up. I mean, it's only the third inning. This game's headed already way over. We're up to 10.5 for an in-game total. I don't think they're done scoring at all in that game. Kansas City tied with the Rockies 1-1 after 3. It was one we talked about, not really having a strong opinion about. The Rangers lead the Rays 3-0, top of 4. Not really excited about that one either. The Giants lead the Guardians. Might be looking to make a play on the Guardians. That would be one. Let me hit refresh here. We could take 1.5, actually minus 120 with the Guardians for them to come back and make it interesting. That would be one I would look at. I don't feel like we're getting enough plus on the money line there.
They got 2 on. That's why 2 on, 1 out for Cleveland.
It's coming down. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
All
right.
And now it's locked.
So yeah, that's it.
Better. How about you don't see 8.5 with Colorado too often. 1-1 top 4. Got 2 runs. Well, that's a weird, I tell you, if you look at their scores, it's almost like feast or famine with Colorado at home. They are, they do have more overs, but it's either like you get like 15 runs or you get 4 runs. Maybe not 4,
correct.
Like 6 runs.
That's
there's no like kind of middle, very weird, right?
No, they've been consistently inconsistent, right? Especially at home.
Yeah.
You're not getting big numbers. Until you do, and you get a really big number because both teams score, or you get a really surprising, like the other night when we were doing in-game live, who was pitching? Oh, Dallas Keuchel was pitching for Milwaukee, and we expected fireworks and everything before July 4th. We got no fireworks. They were all duds. They were like those fireworks that you get at the store, and you go to light them and stuff, and it goes, and nothing happens. Those are the worst. You can't even take those back to the
I was going to say you can't even go
right?
back. What are you going to say? This didn't fire. Where is it? Well, it burnt up. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure, pal.
Yeah.
But it didn't go off, right? Yeah. Okay, here's your money back. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even.
It is
do
weird.
that.
Look at these games. Look at these games that Colorado's played. 4-1, 4-0. Oh, actually, those were on the road. 13-3, then 4-1, then 12-7. Back at home, then 5-2, then 8-2, then 9-5, then 11-9, 7-6, right? Nothing but overs, and then 2-1. It's like 5-2. It's so weird. It really is goofy.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's not many 2-1 games being played there, so usually after an under game, you probably play over there. But in the past, you used to just look to play over. The Pirates just again. Another home run. Boy, this game against the Mets won't. Oh, yeah, everybody's clapping. Another home run, 8th inning. Yasmani Grandal. Wow. Guys, not too many home runs. Everybody's hitting. It's a hit party against the Mets. It's great.
No more from what's-his-face, Reynolds. I didn't realize Reynolds was so small. Red Sox hit a home run. Romy Gonzalez with his first home run of the season. Stankies lead 3-1. How about that?
Did you see? Was Roger Clemens at the Pirate game today? He was not, was he? Like one of our guys said that it wasn't Roger.
One of our
Clemens,
guys,
Pirate.
yeah.
Was he? No. I don't
No,
think so.
no. Looked like him
Just
a
taking
little
peek
bit.
around the
Just a little, but not
a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a little. No.
no.
All right.
And I was looking for the needle sticking out of his neck, so he didn't
Whoa.
have one, so I knew it wasn't him. So, hour number 2 coming up next.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game
And guess
time
what?
decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes you think
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I think the one comparison that I'd like to make that reminds me of Tiger is Scotty's ability to make shots on the Sunday look like shots on a Thursday. And Tiger was so good at doing that too. In the high pressure leverage moments, he didn't lose a step. You know, he was still able to hit it pin high. He's still knocking down flag sticks. He doesn't miss hit it.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the book.
I mean, here's the question. I know hockey players are pretty superstitious. Do they start to ask themselves the question of being like, we signed Corey Perry? We did what?
No.
We signed Corey Perry? Good news, boys. We're going to the Cup Finals. Bad news, boys. We're losing.
At some point, you got to win one for Corey, right?
I guess
Get on
so.
the team and like, wow, this guy, we gotta win one here.
The Bostonian versus the book.
Hi, welcome back. It is In-Game Live, prime time here on the grid. Hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan on this Friday. Got some blowouts, got some games that'll be starting in a few moments. Check the WNBA, and you'll see if we get some winners before the weekend, which no doubt will be an expensive weekend. So, oh, okay, never mind. Thought the Yankees were going to screw up. So, yeah, I know. I was getting excited there. Bottom 5 they go. They're back resuming after about a half-hour rain delay at Stanky Stadium. So 3-1 Yanks lead the Red Sox. Dave, we got 10-2. Your Bucks lead the Metsies. We got the Nationals 5-4 over the Cardinals. So St. Louis slowly but surely chipping into that lead. Still can't believe we got the White Sox pitching a shutout against the Marlins. Although they have played a little better. You know, maybe not winning games, but they've been a little more competitive over the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Have the White Sox, believe it or not. Braves, you know, that's kind of the marquee game of the night, right? Philadelphia and Atlanta. It was 3-0 Phillies. It's now 3-2. Philadelphia leading, top 6. You can get the Braves at plus 146 if you're interested. Even minus 186. Although with that Phillies bullpen, I don't know if I would be laying that on the road.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. That's one of those ones. I just want the Pirates game to end so I could actually pay a little more attention to that. But it's a hit parade in Pittsburgh. Reynolds just came up and got another hit. The Mets may have to put a position player in to finish this out soon if this continues, but he didn't homer. So that was good. Reynolds came up, and I was like, all right, let's just can we get him out? No, that's fine. All right, another base hit. But, yeah, so O'Neal Cruz is up with 2 guys on. And, The guy doing this game, InGame, is sitting here sweating, going, all right, do I just turn the total off? Yeah. At the book, 2 books I'm looking at right now, it's off completely. This is one of those situations where you just don't know what to do with it. It's 10-2. Yeah, the W has an interesting game tonight with the Aces and the Sparks. And I was hoping you had something, at least with that one, because it looks way, way too easy. I mean, this is just obvious. You just play it, lay it, and don't even watch it, right? Or are you going to tell me you want to take the dog plus the points?
No, the last time they played about maybe 2 weeks or so ago, played a little hunch. That's their natural rivalry, right? Las Vegas and L.A. And they were laying about the same wood, the 12.5 in Los Angeles, I think it was. Maybe even been home for Las Vegas. I'm not sure. I took a little flyer on that, and they lost by like 18. So no reason to think. It took them a little while, Las Vegas, to get going, but they're in their groove. I got their team total under. I need 2 losses. They might not lose 2 the rest of the season, believe it or not, the way they're playing. So, yeah. One thing I've mentioned this before. I like to dabble in the WNBA, as you do, Dave. It's you don't find too many big underdogs pulling off upsets. You do. Every once in a while you do. Pick the right spot, but just like a natural Friday night game, Tuesday night game. I guess this would be kind of like a Friday night. No doubt LA's going to be pumped up, but the better teams, when they get going, just pretend there's no point spread. And it's who wants to lay 12.5 on the road. But you know what? These women, they cover. The better teams are better in the WNBA. So that's why,
right?
They're that much better. And when they're playing well, don't even think about it. Just do it.
Right. And I think it will get to a point where they will cover a number, but I know a lot of times we felt like we were drawing dead in the book. It's just like everybody bets the favorite, and it just gets there. So this might be one of those games. I mean, the Aces are on a 6-game winning streak, and the Sparks are on an 8-game losing streak. So, yeah, the other game I think is kind of intriguing. You got the Sky and the Storm, and the Stormers, I've been told by a couple guys that really follow this stuff and move the money in it every day. The Storm are one of those teams. We talked about them in the futures parlay as being the other team in the West to actually compete along, with the Aces. Hopefully they meet in the Western Conference Finals. 4-game winning streak for Seattle. Chicago won their last game, played really well. I guess Angel Reese was the player of the month or something, and rookie of the month. I don't know. This is one of those situations where I think we get a competitive game. Dog live, win the game? No. You're not even entertaining that thought.
No. The only weird thing about this one is back-to-back home games against Chicago. So they play tonight and then Sunday again, which...
Oh, okay.
It's just weird. Just
no way.
Pirates are pounding them.
No way.
Another grand slam in
that.
Pittsburgh.
Another grand slam. Raise the Jolly Roger. It's 14, 2 touchdowns for Pittsburgh and only a safety for the Mets. Unbelievable. This is a way to start off a Friday night. Boy, oh boy. Sorry, Mets fans, but listen, it's a long time coming. I was in Pittsburgh growing up around those teams in the late 80s for the Mets. They were really good. Then the Pirates got good in the early 90s. Mets were a big rival. WOR-TV and all that stuff. You remember those days, Wetzel?
There you go.
WOR.
Oh, yeah. Kindest Corner. Oh, yeah.
Kindest Corner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kindest Corner. Yeah. That's the only place you got to saw highlights of other games. Was no 4-letter network back then. By the way, this poor guy, Ty Adcock, they must be telling him, listen, dude, you got to take one for the team. He's now given up 6 runs, all earned in an inning and third. 3 home runs. They told him, listen, we got a day game tomorrow, brother. What can I tell you? You got to take one for the team. It's either that or we're putting the backup shortstop in, but you're out there. Go get the final out in the 8th inning. This guy would have to pitch like 2 months for his ERA. His ERA coming into tonight was 3.38, right? Not bad. Okay. You know what it is after tonight?
10.
14. 14.
Ouch.
Oh, my goodness. 14.54. This guy has got to be so ticked off. Wow. Thanks, Skip. Thanks. Appreciate it. Holy fudge.
Yeah.
Then when they go to arbitration,
5-4,
right,
by the way,
or rules
against the Nationals.
What's that?
Cardinals trailing 5-4, bottom of the 8th coming up. Cardinals tie it in the 9th? No. Nationals close it out? What do you think?
I think they tied. We got them tied. Those were one of our the 4 guys that we put a couple shekels on. We took Miami, we took the Cardinals, we took Cincinnati, we took Cleveland. So be nice for them to at least tie it anyway, so we could kind of hedge a little bit. 5-4. They were down 5-0 at one point. So they're battling. Definitely battling.
They are. Yep.
Can't get anything out of Marlins being shut out. All right. Oh, no. Twinkies have tied up the Astros 3-3.
Here we go.
That was the other one.
There's a baseball game going on there. Yep, you said that. I'm on the Astros, so I hope they don't get too far ahead. That one's going to go back and forth. We got a guy coming up next. He knows a little bit about baseball. He knows a little bit about soccer. He knows a lot about lacrosse. I can't wait to talk to him. He's in L.A. Might have something on the Dodgers, too. We'll have some more things to discuss. That'll be fun. What's on the plans for you the rest of the night after the show? Got any big plans? Friday night date night, anything? What do you have? Anything?
Yeah. I told the wife I'd take her out. Yeah, I'll meet you there, honey. You start without me. One of the hors d'oeuvres. It was actually our anniversary a couple days ago. So
congratulations. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Long time. Long time. So no, I'm gonna be on the computer. I got a show tomorrow from 4 to 8. I got a prep for a show on Sunday. So I get a nice big fat piece of cherry pie, throw some chocolate ice cream on it. Maybe make a cup of coffee, a little tea, put on a white baseball game or two. Yes, on top of cherry pie. Oh yeah, the best. Dan Alexander coming up next.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Welcome back, In-Game Live, Prime Time here on the Grid, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, looking at a little baseball stuff. Let's see if we can get some winners. We got a bunch of games starting in about 15, 20, 30 minutes or so. As we welcome in Dan Alexander from Wager Talk. You see him over there. And a podcast co-host with my co-host tonight, Mr. Sharapan, Cash Considerations. Newbie Talks as well. Mr. Alexander, Dan, what's going on? How are you tonight?
I'm doing excellent, Scott. An absolute pleasure to be joining you gentlemen tonight. I would argue with Dave, maybe it's a little long overdue that he got me on here, but I know, Scott, you were the one that was really lobbying to get me on here, so I appreciate that, Scott.
I know. And I got to say, I'm really impressed, Dan, because, no offense to anyone, but most of the guys that he says are buddies that come on, they're all about 70 years old. So I was shocked when you came on, and I'm seeing you for the first time.
Well,
is that you sure you're Dave's friend here? Really?
I'll tell you what, Scott. I'm an old soul. Dave and I was born a day before him, a couple of years difference, but a day before him. So Dave and I are somewhat of kindred spirits. So yes, maybe the age is a little bit different. But me and my friend Sharapan have many similarities. That lid's looking good there. That lid's looking
This is a POL lid. This is for you because you told me you would get me hooked up, and so I got this one. It's already bent, but it's curled up nice. It's nice. Wetzel, do you remember the Dave and Dan Olympics? Back in the day. I mean, this is like me and Dan.
Right.
Me and Newbie, Dave and Dan together. He does
fair.
all the field events. I just kind of watch and everything. But the guy's a beast, okay? He's out in L.A. doing his things. Noobs, give me something baseball, anything that I know you were looking at. Arizona, San Diego coming up. I can't believe that San Diego's not the favorite. Dodgers tonight in your backyard. Anything there in the National League that you want to talk about real quick?
So it's standing out to me. I'm right there with you. I don't get why the Padres aren't, not only a favorite, but a bigger favorite in this one. Slade Ciccone? It's a strong Italian name. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
I think the only reason that you're seeing this split is because it's going to be Randy Vasquez on the bump. So you know what I mean? I know not a lot of people are crazy about him. The ERA doesn't really get you all excited, but Padres bullpen's been playing a little bit better as of late. So I feel like a lot of the time with the pricing, especially as you're heading toward the All-Star break, maybe people are on vacation. They just look at the starting pitchers and they say, right away, this is the number that we're slapping up. So I think we're getting some value on San Diego Padres, who have been quietly rolling here a little bit, Dave. So that was the one that stood out to me. So I'm glad you brought that one up.
How about Baltimore? Ready to lay $160 only? Although the A's have won a couple of games here of late, but Baltimore laid only $166 on FanDuel anyway. Dan looks tempting to me as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's against the A's, right, Scott? Like when do you not have to talk us into fading the A's? You know what I mean? Right. So the thing, and again, we talk about pricing this, pricing that. This pricing is already factoring in the beautiful bounce back spot that you have for Baltimore. Even in the quiet time in the book, you're not having a chance to really find some value on that. They lost 7-3 Thursday. They managed to score at least one run so these guys stack up runs in bunches, but that price, I'm not going to come on SportsGrid and tell people to start making any parlay pieces, but that one feels like one that can't lose. Suarez on the hill, that one feels really too nice on Baltimore, Dave. And that's what worries me, is when it feels too much of a slam dunk. It's almost those kind of plays that I end up crossing off of my card.
Yes, sir. I know you co-host the Premier Lacrosse League, podcast as well. And I know you've been talking about the lacrosse. I have a two-part question for you. What's the beluga play? All right, the big play you really want to put out there for the lacrosse. And two, how many hot dogs did you consume at your peak eating power? Because you used to, play college football back in the day, and I know now you're out running at the beaches in L.A. and doing all this other stuff. But seriously, Noobs, tell the people, give them the play for the lacrosse. We got to do that for the guys and everything. But how many hot dogs did you eat yesterday versus how many did you eat at your peak?
Dave, I was talking to Scott before we came on here. I might be out here in Cali. I might have had the blood thin out a little bit, but I'm a Philly guy through and through. Philadelphia Water Dogs, yes, that's a real team name, Scott, is getting the win against the Boston Cannons. Book it, -110. That's the lacrosse little whale play for you there. And Dave, what the people really want to know, they don't want to know the lacrosse plays. They want to talk hot dogs, right? I'll tell you what, Scott, used to be an offensive and defensive lineman, and I used to throw them back. Like wings could down 75 in a sitting. I actually did a competitive hot dog eating contest. And when I was in that, I think it was a 5-minute limit that we had, and I threw down, I believe it was 19 or 20. So 19 or 20 hot dogs I was able to stuff down.
It was 20.
Oh,
20 in 5 minutes.
Oh.
And if but the thing, the part that's brutal though, boys, is to do it. You always watch these guys, and it's disgusting. Like when they're dipping it in the water, they're dipping in the soda, whatever. Like you have to do that. If you think you can take down the buns and the dogs, forget about it. Like you need to dip it, and that's the part that gets a little brutal. That's the part that gets a little nasty. Not the eating 20 hot dogs. I guess it's nasty on its face.
and how bad do you feel afterwards? And when are you back to normal?
Honestly, I got an iron gut, Scott. You might be able to take me off the offensive line, but you can't take the offensive line out of the gullet. So I'm ready to go. Like, dude, if I down 20 dogs, I'm saying, where are we going for ice cream after? And I could still do that today, Scott. Get me off the line, but your boy's ready to roll. Iron gut.
I've seen this happen with pizza. I've seen this kid eat pizza. I mean, like we had to order more pizza when we were all out to eat.
I'll crush a pie to myself.
Yeah, that's what happens. Well, listen, noobs, thanks for joining us. All right, first and foremost, enjoy your Friday night. What do you got? You got 5 seconds. You got a dinner plan tonight?
Yeah, making buffalo chicken flatbreads. I'll send a picture out on Newbie Talks on Twitter, so keep your eyes peeled. Buffalo chicken flatbread coming your way.
Buffalo chicken flatbread. I don't know if that's chicken or is that bread. Can I make a sandwich with that? Or maybe that's...
You have no idea. You're the old man.
No idea. No idea. Thanks, Tim.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, as we try and check out a couple of baseball plays. We had a couple of games starting here, Dave, in about 10 minutes or so. So let me just run down some of these games, then we'll go back to the games that are in progress. So first up, it is Arizona, San Diego, as we discussed with our guest Slade Ciccone, 2-6 on the hill for the D-backs against 2-4 Randy Vasquez. Again, over under is 8.5. San Diego on a nice fat 8-0 over home game run. They're 9-1 their last 10 home games anyway. So hard not to like the over. I mean, it's one of those games where who's looking at that game saying, "Boy, I love the under." Oh, absolutely 8.5. But these two great pitchers on the hill, yeah, give me the under. Right? It's a classic. And now, I know every book is a little different, but I will say it's even juiced more towards the under, minus 115 versus the over, which is only minus 105. So this line's got sucker written all over it with these two jabronis on the hill, right?
Yep, probably. But again, first game of the series is different than the other games. You get a lot of variance on sometimes the first game of the series, and you see the prices differ from book to book because there's people that have opinions that move numbers a certain way. So tread cautiously, but yes, I think that one is probably an over. I'm just celebrating a 14-2 Pirate win on a Friday night. They just doused Tellez with a big bucket of something. Have you ever been dumped on with a big bucket of anything, Wetzel, and all of your exploits and things like
flights.
that?
Yeah. No, surprisingly, no. Despite my athletic prowess, no. The closest I came, well, there were two instances. One, we were trailing by a run, bottom of the ninth inning, high school baseball. I was a freshman, JV. I was at bat, lined a single to right. Guy comes around second base. He gets thrown out at home. Ball game over. We lose. So not the hero. And then another time, senior year, runners on second and third, 1 out, and I was the on deck batter. So you would think they would walk the batter and have me bat, right? But they didn't. They pitched that guy instead of me. My father, who was the coach, or assistant at that point, and asked him, "How come you didn't walk the guy?" My son was up next because I flew out to deep center field the last time, and he was afraid to pitch to me.
How about that?
So
you didn't get an opportunity. Okay,
I didn't get an opportunity to be a hero. Those were all the things I played a lot of with different sports. Never really. I hit a half court shot in basketball. That counts for anything at halftime. Didn't really pertain to winning or losing, but no. So no Gatorade, no mayonnaise, no anything.
No,
you?
Nothing. When the kids won the state championship for softball, I was coaching my daughters and the rest of the team. We won the state championship. It was 112 out that day when we won in mid-July, and they doused us with the buckets of ice water, which was fun. Actually, it felt good. We needed it. I was sweaty. Everybody was tired. So that happened. And then, when we were young, somebody actually sprayed us with pop soda, like after a game. We won a championship in Little League, and everybody got sticky. And we didn't like that kid. He was the right fielder, and that's probably the only championship he won at the time. But he got Coke. It went like this with Coke all over everybody. Yeah, it was very annoying. But we won a championship, so he was excited. The Cardinals tied the Nats.
I see that.
It's 5-5.
That's a real good. I don't have any stats. Just watching this stuff. Washington, Dave, had the bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the eighth. Looked like up 5-4. Looked like they were going to blow it open. Right? They don't score. I love betting against teams like that, right? Yeah. There's just some deflating about that situation, thinking you're going to win and everything else, and you don't. And lo and behold, St. Louis scores. How about that? All right. So we gave that one out. Now you can hedge on the Nationals.
There you go.
If you want.
Yes, you can.
Cash in that
ticket.
Cincinnati's come.
Right.
Detroit's lead to 4-2.
Hello.
Bottom of the sixth with a couple of
Coming
runners
back.
on. Got a chance for a couple more. We got
Things
the
are getting
Marlins down 3-1 against the White Sox. Bases loaded.
Bases loaded.
But I think two out.
Here we go.
But
okay.
we got a shot there. So some of these other
Good thing we have 30
on.
minutes left.
Yeah, good thing. There you go. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for another half hour looking at some baseball lines and different things. You know, Dave, from time to time, I get asked all the time, you know, why sports? And, you know, you want to do politics or different, you know, things like that, current events. And like, nah, you know, today's like one of those days why. When you kind of scroll down through the scores and stuff and you go, just a couple of headlines that jump off the page, not pertaining to sports, right? Man dies after placing a lit firework on his head, trying to brag about how he can do it, 4th of July.
What?
Child 11 ignites fireworks that burn 2 homes on Long Island because this guy told the kid to go light them over there. So the man was arrested, 11-year-old, right? I mean, poor dog was found on a note on the side of a Long Island highway, tied to a bar with a bowl of water, saying, "Here, come help me." I mean, just this is why. A wrong way driver on New Jersey Parkway crashes, kills 2 people. Just give me the sports. Give me some in-game live stuff because the real world is just too weird. It's just too weird. You put a firework on your head, on your head.
I don't know at what point you thought that was a good idea. I mean, and whoever told you that you should do that, like seriously, you really got to think. So I interned back in college, you know, at the TV station in Pittsburgh. And I switched my major. I had I wasn't going to do any of this. And I went to Penn State and was a finance major for the first couple of years. But then I got into accounting classes and, you know, macroeconomics. And I was like, this is going to be a long and really boring existence for me. I said, I got to switch. So I said, try communication. So I ended up get an internship, and they put me in the sports department, which was great. And it was all over after that. I mean, because, we had, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, they gave us like 4.5 minutes was the sports, part of the 11 o'clock news. Right. It was 4.5 minutes. So you had to chop it up, show highlights, in and out, boom, done. But we got to sit there and watch games, and then I would watch the other people doing stories and chasing fires and, criminals and court cases and all this other stuff. And you went, nah, I can't do this. When I went back to school, they said, what do you want to talk about? I want to talk about sports, playing hockey here and talk about sports. Well, everybody does that. Well, all right, we'll figure it out. So I got very, very lucky. And instead of going to grad school or law school, I went to Curacao and lived in the Caribbean for about 18 months and learned the sportsbook business. And now, we're very lucky and blessed to be talking about it now. I think it makes the arguments different than just your regular hot take stuff. Peralt calls the sports department the toy department of the store. And it is kind of the toy department, isn't it? I mean, you got to, I think, but I mean, you've been around it for a long, long time too. What these guys do is a job. The guys that play, the guys that coach, the guys that talk about it. All they want is that respect. If you do that as a journalist or as somebody, around the game, they'll talk to you. They'll give you whatever you need. If you don't, if you want to be the guy sitting in the press box, critiquing why they didn't hit for so-and-so in the seventh, or, geez, this guy's in a slump, he should be sent down. Hold on a second. This is their lives you're talking about. I don't know. I love it. I hope I get to talk about sports forever.
Yeah, it really is a lot of fun. It's sometimes a little frustrating, in different sports for different reasons. NBA is kind of tough to watch these days, but overall, it's still a blast. It's still, a lot of fun and all the storylines and different things. And that's why I think people like the Hard Knocks of the world, or when you read about someone doing something, whether it's visiting somebody in a hospital or something along those lines, you tend to sometimes forget that they're human beings. And when they do something that's human, it's like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's pretty cool. So, but some of this other stuff is just nuts. Oh, who could deal with politics, right? I mean, who would want to really do that? Oh, good gravy.
It's a tough year to be doing that, too. This one's going to test your mettle the rest of this summer. Yeah. So hopefully the NL Central race stays pretty good and we get to talk about stuff like that, right? The Pirates win again. We got our guy Locke watching the show. Appreciate the shout out. Look, this is great. We'll have a bunch of stuff to talk about for the next 25 minutes.
Here's your I got something. Here's your opposite picks parlay for tonight. 3-teamer, maybe even 4 if you want to stretch it out. Right?
Okay.
Under, this is opposite. So under 8.5, San Diego,
this is
Arizona.
Not to be confused with the same game parlay.
No.
Okay.
This is we're going to be completely on the side of the boys in Vegas versus the public. I mean, what idiot with these two, Saccone and Vasquez, both of them, with 1 or 2 wins, is betting the under on this, right? Let's go under.
Okay.
All right. Oakland versus Baltimore, right? Orioles, one of the best teams in baseball. Who's betting Oakland even at home, right? Give me Oakland plus the 140.
Okay.
Toronto, Seattle. Seattle could play, 20 innings and the game still go under. So let's go with the best pitcher, arguably one of the best, certainly Castillo on the nose, Gausman. Let's go over 7.5.
Okay. Wow.
And then if you wanted to really push all the chips in, all the gambler Kenny Rogers here, we could throw in Milwaukee plus 180 against the Dodgers with Tyler Glasgow. Like there's who's with Aaron Savali, who's 2-6. Who's betting Milwaukee? If you throw all in, that's 24-1. Or you do a little round robin. But just straight 24-1.
That's not going to win. I don't think that's going to win. That would be.
Before you say no, let's look at some of the other scores and see if it's been an opposite picks type of night, right?
Okay.
Mets Pirates,
that's basically pick 'em.
Pirates were favored with Skeens. That held true to form.
Oh, that's true.
All right.
That's right. No,
Yeah.
I forgot Skeens was on the hill. So, okay, so favorite one there. Cubs at home against the Angels, as bad as the Cubs are, but they're at home. They were the favorites
that was
there,
a favorite.
right?
Yep.
All right. Cardinals, Nationals. Cards were probably the favorites. That's 5-5, ninth inning. Dead even.
Yep.
Yankees were favored over the Red Sox. They're leading.
Yep.
White Sox, Marlins. The Marlins were favored, believe it or not. White Sox are winning there. Yeah, I know, right? Guards were certainly favorites over San Fran. They're losing. Reds were favored over the Tigers. They're losing.
Yep.
Braves, Phillies. I think Braves were favored over the Phillies, even with the Nola.
Freed at home. Freed at home against a depleted Phillies team. Yeah, they were favored.
They're losing.
Yeah.
Texas was favored over Tampa Bay. They're leading.
Correct. Yes.
Twinkies and Astros. Twinkies were favored. They're leading.
Twins favored. Right.
Right. And then Kansas City favored over Colorado. They're leading 2-1. So
we're about split. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. So, because sometimes I like to follow that, sometimes you just have those days, so you look for like crazy lines. I got to put in for a couple shekels. Why not? 24-1. We'll see.
Take your shot.
Nothing crazy.
Take your shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to take your shot sometimes.
Do the boys have your same game parlay ready to go? We could get this in right now.
They do.
Fire it up. Tell
when
me
we
the
come back.
graphics. Let's go. Hit it. Let's go.
Yeah. You want to do it now? Okay. We're doing it. No, we don't. That's okay. Don't need much time. Put it up on the board there, fellas, because I forget what I got. Oh, Baltimore minus the 166. Under 8.5. Adley Rutschman to get 2 bases, and Gunnar Henderson to get 2 bases. 10.5 to 1. That's not a bad. I think the Orioles are going to win. 6-2. Rutschman and Henderson. They both 2 bases. 10.5 to 1. Book it, Dano. There you go.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. 40 past the hour, Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, looking at some baseball. I haven't checked the WNBA here in a little while, so let me just do that real quickly here, Dave. We got Sparks and Aces starting top of the hour, same thing with Seattle and Chicago. So the one game that was played, Dallas goes over. I tell you what, I don't play unders very often in the WNBA, although I did yesterday, was it, or 2 days ago, and it went under by 1.
Yes.
But otherwise, right? I forget which game. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
No, it was 2 days ago when we did the show on Wednesday. I forget what it was. It was when we talked about it.
Okay. So, but otherwise, these games go over. I mean, listen, I'm sure if you look at the over-under, it's not like 90%, but if you just look for overs and play the overs versus just blindly betting all the overs, you will find that they do go over a lot. They really do. 85-82. The over-under was right 161, and it didn't fly by, obviously. But Dallas wins 85-82, 167 points. It's an over. That's why I did play the over tonight in Chicago and Seattle. 161.5. Anytime I get less than 163.5, 64.5, or 165, that's when it's like, okay, I'll pounce on the over.
Okay. I don't know. The Steam's been pretty good in the WNBA, especially with the totals, but it's going to turn. Yep. It's going to change. You give it, oddsmakers another week or two to get more information. There's certain teams, I think, that will trend more towards, one way or the other. And, I mean, when you look at the WNBA championship odds, it's pretty obvious who those teams are. I mean, Aces seem like overs. Liberty hit and miss a little bit. Suns over. Storm, I think, over. The teams on the right, you got to worry about their team totals. I think you can bet them under. So we had a game here yesterday. Aces were at home against the Mystics. And you know how, excuse me, you've had your kids around your family business or what you've done for a long, long time. I mentioned to the kids, because I was like, do you guys want to watch fireworks? Do you have any intentions of doing anything before? Maybe we can go down and watch the Mystics play the Aces. My kids checked the line. They checked the line. They're like, it's not going to be competitive, Daddy. I don't want to go. I started laughing. I said, you're right. It's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. Yeah, it'll be a blowout. The Aces will probably blow them out and cover. How about that? So you think the kids, you're not sure whether they're listed or not or this or that. Right. Yeah. They said, nah, we're good. We don't want to go. We're going to hang out at home, play Fortnite or whatever the hell they're doing. This summer vacation has me, I don't even know what day it is half the time. Kids are up all the hours of the night. I remember those days back. I mean, this is weird. For kids out west in Phoenix and in Vegas, where, I've lived in both places, the summer is like the dead of winter back there. You never leave the house, except if you're going out to eat. Your activities outside. I mean, we coached the softball, and we had the kids out playing softball, but for the rest of the day, they had to be inside. Can you imagine growing up in the summertime, not being going outside the whole day? All we did was live outside. That's all we did.
Yeah. That's right. Wow. I do remember that. It is kind of crazy. So let's chip off the old block. Yeah, I know. It's a little. You know what? Now that I think about it, that would be back-to-back, by the way, back to reality. Back-to-back games for the Aces, but it was a blowout last night at home against Washington. Your kids were right. It did turn out to be a blowout. So it's not like they were extended, so I wouldn't worry too much about them, not having anything tonight. So I would lay this rolling out.
Did you just see what happened? And the Cardinals just took the lead against the Nationals. It's 6-5 St.
Wow.
Louis. So Nationals, man, they were up 5-0 cruising. It just now really that turned the whole thing and sweating it. The Phillies just broke open the game. They lead 8-3 over the Braves. 2 in the sixth and another 3 in the seventh. Hello. So the Phillies just continue to roll with a depleted lineup. Unbelievable how good
and
those
yet
guys are.
They're not right. Well, last time I checked anyway, and I'll just double check so I don't want to say something that's not right. But
What's
World
that?
Series line, yeah, they're not the favorites. Dodgers are still the favorites at +3-1. Phillies 5-1. I take if they beat my best of 7. I mean, I don't know how with the Dodger pitching versus the Phillies pitching that you could say give it to Dodgers like that much. That's almost a 2-1, favorite over Philadelphia.
I think a 5-game series would favor the Phillies. Because
Right.
you only get you get
No,
one
Wheeler.
starter each, and they got the best. I would argue they get the best rotation in baseball, let alone in a short series. I don't know who's not going to pitch in that. Because no, it'll be Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, and Sanchez. That's the 4. I mean, that's the best rotation in baseball in a short series.
Yeah.
If we got to play 5 games, you see each one of them once, you're good. I would make them the favorite against the Dodgers. I think even in LA. But the Dodgers take all the money. They take all the bets. They got all the Ohtani talk. I mean, look how big of a favorite they are to win their division. They're going to win their division. It's pretty much, there's still 3 months left, but it's a done deal. I don't know if they're going to win tonight, though. I really don't. They don't score when Glasnow pitches, right? Milwaukee's a live dog.
Padres are 6.5 back. What's the division line on the Dodgers? NL West. Let's see.
Yeah, look at that. 21 to
minus 40-1.
21-1. You could take with the Padres.
With the Padres, 6.5 back. That's it's not insurmountable. And I think they're going to get I keep on wanting to say no more. They're going to get Xander back, right? Bogarts.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Although the Dodgers are going to get Betts back, but
Orioles up 1-0. Orioles up 1-0
Nice.
in the first. Diamondbacks up 2-0 in the first, and still hitting.
Our opposite picks parlay is not
parlay,
looking good.
Done.
Yeah, it may be done before we leave the air. But real plays are worth more. So there you go.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
right, closing up shop here on InGame Live Primetime. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan. So we got 6-6 Cardinals and Nationals as the Nationals have tied up St. Louis. Boy, I wish they gave out over-unders on these extra inning games. We can make a fortune with that. Cleveland only scored one. They had a couple of runners on, so they still trail 4-2, top 7. That game has taken forever to play. Astros 6-4 over the Twinkies. Rockies have tied up Kansas City 2-2. And the A's have tied up the Baltimore Orioles 1-1. So, and I'm trying to figure out who Tampa Bay is playing because I'm looking on my TV set and I can't figure it out. These new logos and retro uniforms and, well, they're not even retro. Yeah, what do they call them? The new uniforms?
City Connect. They're
City Connect.
You don't like the City Connects? Some are good. Some are real good.
I can't even figure out the Texas Rangers. I forgot who they were playing, and I'm looking, right? I put who they play. Tampa Bay. What is that? It looks like it's a Roman numeral or something, but it's a T and a R, combined. I don't want to have to get out the encyclopedia to figure out who my favorite baseball team is playing. Just put a T and an R, please.
We'll discuss it next week when we do the shows, but the All-Star game, do you remember when everybody used to wear their own uniform? Like that
was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. When the home team wore the whites and the away team wore the colorful uniforms, and it was so many, it was fun. I don't know. I love to see the Pirates guys would wear the all gold ones and the Phillies would wear the baby blue ones. And it was just a hodgepodge of guys. And it was great. Now, you're right. These All-Star uniforms, you're going to hate them. I already know. I've seen them, the hats and everything. And it's got these crazy colors. You're 100% going to hate them. I already know. Can I mention tonight that the Pirates did something? Still reveling in this. So this was put out. I just saw the tweet. Thank you, Action Network. The Pittsburgh Pirates put this up on the scoreboard because after the home runs, they do fireworks. And Pittsburgh is great with the fireworks. This is insane, they wrote on the scoreboard. We have 7 home runs tonight, which is the 5th time in Pirates history that we have done this. So many homers that we ran out of fireworks. They ran out of fireworks. How about that? 5th time in history, goodness. 7 home runs. I wish you'd have had those props. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Home runs.
Have you had what do they put a new supply in every day? They don't have a week's worth of, whatever the homestand is? Or are they rubbing it in the faces of the Mets? I'd be betting maybe the Mets tomorrow. Just a little hunch.
You only do the home team fireworks. How many home runs do you hit, right? You get a week's worth probably, right? They they sent off the whole week's worth tonight. And they did have games earlier this week. It's gone. That's it. Yeah.
So they're not going to have any tomorrow? What happens when they hit 3 home runs tomorrow? It is Pennsylvania. You go in Pennsylvania, you got 2 things, Dave. Every single block. In New York, it's Chinese restaurants or pizza places. Pennsylvania, smoke shops, cigars, or fireworks. Every block.
Really?
Block. Oh, yeah. Well, you lived in you live in Pittsburgh. That's not really Pennsylvania. Yeah, you got to go on the East Coast.
Right.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Philly, and then I heard a great quote a long time ago. There's Pittsburgh and there's Philly, and there's a lot of Alabama in between. It gets to be a little bit of the country. Yeah, a little bit of the country.
Yeah.
Mets minus 130 tomorrow. They're minus 130 tomorrow against the Pirates. You like the
Who's
Mets?
on the hill tomorrow?
Peterson and
Falter. Okay, that's nothing. That's a 4 o'clock start.
9 is the total.
I take a flyer on Pittsburgh.
Play for tomorrow. Put this in your head for tomorrow. Phillies.
Okay.
Suarez. Pick them against the Braves. Pick them.
Pick them.
Suarez. Yeah.
Got to get
Phillies.
Suarez. Got to keep betting Philadelphia. But you know me, they're playing Atlanta. So I'm betting Philadelphia tomorrow. So you know what to do. Bet Atlanta. Is my favorite boy Keuchel pitching tomorrow? No, must be on Sunday.
No, Sunday.
11-2 Seth Lugo. Yeah. Would they ever give Seth Lugo the American League Cy Young Award? Would that be something? What were the odds on that at the beginning of the year?
Thanks, boys. Have a great night.
Enjoy the weekend, my friend.